Welcome back everyone, hope all is well. Today I want to talk about how pay to win is entering into Division 2. Now you might not have realised this, but it is actually becoming a real thing, or potentially becoming a real thing. I also want to talk about some of the issues I've got with the latest update, the one we've just had this week, which is Year 8 Season 1.2, as well as I want to react to some developer comments that I've seen on the X platform, or Twitter as we also call it, along with a few other things to cover off with the sharing of prototype loot from the new vendor that we've just had, and a little bit around the Battle for Brooklyn event that we have coming in a couple of weeks time, and the potential of a brand new global event coming at the same time. So if you're interested in all that, stick around. Okay, let's kick things off with what could potentially be pay to win entering, are actually already in, the Division 2. Now, as you all well know, when Year 8 Season 1 was started up, we had the reintroduction of classified assignments with some all new missions. We'll receive 8 missions in total, 2 of which we already have access to in the game. Now, these missions are paid content, with the price of 500 premium credits each. Now, the original 8 classified assignments that came with Year 1 of the game were small puzzle-sized missions that offered some audio and echo comms that filled bits of backstory of the events in DC, alongside like a unique backpack trophy for each classified assignment that you completed. Now, most classified assignments were pretty forgettable, and to be fair, you probably only played them a handful of times before you never really sat putting them again, unless you were maybe using, say, the National Bond classified assignment as an XP farm. So, fast forward to Year 8, and the classified assignments are back. They still offer the small puzzle-side missions with the comms and the backpack trophy, but this time, more importantly, they offer an exclusive named weapon with a perfect talent that cannot be gotten anywhere else in the game. They will be 7 named weapons in total by the time all of the classified assignments came out, and there'll also be 1 new exotic weapon. Now, in my opinion, if one of these weapons offers any real competitive advantage over players who don't pay for these new classified assignments, then the Division 2 is entering into classic pay-to-win territory. If these weapons were a purely visual change or were very, very lackluster and totally garbage, then I don't really feel that this would be pay-to-win. But the bottom line is, if any of the weapons are unique and give any real gameplay edge that cannot be matched by any other weapons available in the base game, then this is pay to win. You're not just buying a classified assignment, you're buying exclusivity in power. There is a real argument that the Catalyst mask that is exclusive to the Battle for Brooklyn DLC could be seen as potential pay to win, but it is pretty much garbage and no one really uses it. So yeah, maybe we wouldn't class that one as pay to win, but it's certainly an exclusive piece of gear that if you don't own the base game, you don't have access to. Now, quite a decisive subject it is, so I'd like to, I would really be interested, to be honest with you, on your thoughts on any of these exclusive weapons being pay to win. Are you with it? Are you against it? Do you think it's not really pay to win? Do you think weapons are just going to be garbage? They probably will be garbage, but obviously the dev team are not going to say, hey, come and buy these classified assignments and you can get 7 or 8 garbage weapons. They're not really going to sell it as that. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments section below. Next up, I want to talk about, or should I say, I want to moan a little bit about some of the changes that came in the latest update this week. Now, first up was the classified assignments. They got their own menu. Now, that's not all that bad, to be honest with you. And I don't know, some developer somewhere thought it would be a good idea to remove the classified icons from the main map, meaning that if you wanted to use them for fast travel points, then you would have to do some extra steps by going into the new classified assignment tab on the map screen. Now, before you start shotting your comments in the comment section. I know that you can fully zoom out of the map and it will show the classified assignment icons, so then you can fast travel to them. But developers, please tell me who asked for this changed, because I'm guessing nobody did. It's probably more than likely you've got some devs working in the UI team thought it would be a really good idea, and really before taking into account really what the players actually want. So for me, it was an unnecessary change that offered absolutely zero benefit. Now, the next thing that changed this week that really pissed me off a lot was the fact that they now made escalation tokens and prototype cores shared across all characters. Now, this wasn't thought through very well. So as a player, and I think I speak for the most savvy veteran players out there, that if we don't buy the shared material blueprint from Anaya, the blueprint vendor, that means we don't want our resources shared across all of our characters. We do this so we can max out all of, all the different currencies, all the different materials and stuff like that on all of our characters, so we're not really limited or bound by the material caps. This week's change, however, circumvented that. It made it so all escalation tokens and prototype cores are shared across all characters, even those who don't have the resource sharing. So this pissed me off no end, meaning that I was overcapped on prototype cores and escalation tokens. Every tier 10 mission that I ran, and I was the leader, I lost all of my 87 tokens because I couldn't pick up any more tokens because I was overcapped, and I couldn't buy prototype caches to open prototype cores because my stash was full, my inventory is full, and even if I broke them down, I was overcapped on prototype cores, so it caused me like no end of problems. Now, no doubt I'm not the only person that this affected, and I do appreciate it's a first world problem. I totally get that, but just in my opinion, not really very well thought out. If a player doesn't have resource sharing on, then just don't share the resources. It's not fucking difficult. You don't do it with exotic components, do you? And you don't do it with credits, so why the fuck have you done it with the tokens and the prototype cores? But anyway, let's move on. Now, staying on the subject of prototype, so we got a new escalation vendor and it now sells prototype caches. I must say the price it's actually a good price, so like well done dev team, you know what I mean. I was expecting something a lot more expensive, but no, very, very good, very, very happy with that change. Now, I was led to believe that after this was introduced, there was actually a bug that was in the game, which has since been fixed. Now, I believe, if this is true, that it allowed players to use that vendor even if they had 0 escalation tokens, so it was very much like an infinite prototype glitch. Now, as I said, I think this has been resolved. I never got a chance to test it out myself. I'm just going by word of mouth. So I think that was fixed during the emergency server update that fixed like the unbelievable amount of delta errors that everyone was getting. I'm so glad I was at work when that was happening, so it didn't really affect me. Now, the other thing that the new escalation vendor allows is actually prototype sharing. Now, this works exactly the same way as sharing drops that you got from the stretch goals events and the bloom event and stuff like that. So as long as your inventory is full, if you then open one of those prototype caches that you bought from the vendor, the item will then drop on the floor. Now, these items are actually now shareable with the people who were in your group when they dropped on the floor. So what I'll do, I'll link a quick video in the description. The video is done by the one, the only Hello 4000. She made this video earlier on this week, showing off really how this works. It's nice and quick, so very, very easy for everyone to follow. If you don't know who Hello 4000 is, she's like a top gal in the Division 2 universe. Give her a follow on YouTube, and she's always streaming on Twitch. You really should get yourself over there. You can often find her hanging out with the totally awesome Celestial Leah, and she also hangs out a lot with the voice of the Division, the man himself, NGN. Now, next up, I want to talk about a couple of different tweets I've seen on Twitter or X this week. Both from Alex. He's one of the game devs or game director, should I say, at the Bucharest. Now, he delivers a lot of, or his team delivers a lot of the content that we currently have in the game. He seems like a nice guy. He's very, very active on X, as well as like in Twitch streams and stuff like that. He seems very, very approachable. In my opinion, he reacts with the players a lot more than any of the development team I've ever seen, even the community team. So thanks, Alex. Keep it up. However, he replied to a tweet from Shoot to Loot last week. Now, here's the tweet. So Shoot the Loot pretty much says to Alex that those augment re-rolling costs are absolutely killing him, and I agree with Shoot the Loot. They're absolutely unbelievable. You know, I've spent literally thousands on the augment slot gambling machine, and you know it's a real pain. Now, Alex answers that with, you know, how the costs have been severely nerfed from the PTS. But his next comment, it's just a bit stupid and tone deaf in my opinion. I think that you or the team can do more with augment re-rolling system to make it more palatable for the player, if I'm brutally honest with you, because I've been on the wrong end of the augment slot machine, and you know it's literally cost me thousands and thousands of cores. In the next tweet, Alex was answering a question from Dice, generally around the token system and how the leader basically gets shafted. Now, Alex did say there in the original design there was an intention that everyone would evenly contribute to the pool for the tokens. Obviously, they came across a lot of problems there, and that would have caused them like bugs and exploits and stuff like that. But he did say that they are looking at reworking the system to make it more fair and also give the leader a much greater reward for taking all the risk. So that's good. At least I'm really happy that that's potentially getting looked at and that is coming. Still a little bit late in the day for me, if I'm honest with you. That should have been done really before the season started, been ready for the new season. Certainly should have made it into the main game. And you know, if it was one of those things which benefited the player, we all know that would have been fixed fucking quick, you know. So good and bad, you know. What do you think? Now, I want to move on to the up-and-coming Battle for Brooklyn event that starts on the 21st of May. Now, currently, very little is known so far, except for some leaked images that have found themselves onto X, or Twitter. Now, it looks like the event will follow the same structure as the previous events, things like the Assassin's Creed and the Rainbow Six Siege events. Now, the leaks that I've seen, it looks like we're going to have an event pass. That event pass is going to have at least 4 new themed outfits. Most likely 1 or 2 of those will be like a free reward or on a free track, whilst the other ones no doubt will be on some sort of paid premium track. The event itself is set to run for 2 weeks, I'm led to believe, which obviously starts on the 21st of May, as I've previously mentioned. There's also a pretty real reality that we might be receiving also a new global event that will run alongside this Battle for Brooklyn event, or possibly just after. Again, little is known about the event, so time will tell. Well, there we have it. That's it from me again. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for supporting me. If you don't already follow me, please do. It very much is appreciated. If you don't follow me on Twitter or X, you really should. You don't know what you're missing out on. And other than that, bye bye now.